Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report, but this time for the special edition held on Grand Slam. As you see right here, the shocker of the night right here. Who would have ever thought that Saraya, a.k.a. better known as WWE Paige made a shocking debut on AEW Dynamite, and she is coming on the heels of what she did. We'll talk about that as well. Also, too, could Chris Jericho win his 8th world title? Chris Jericho's been talking about it and raving about it for the last week since he challenged Cesaro for the Ring of Honor title. Could Chris Jericho live up to his promise? We'll talk about it coming up. Also, too, this match right here, speaking of world championship matches, 3 world championships, including the women's title 4. Which one of these 2 men from their own group, the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan, taking on Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, in a match that could Jon Moxley do the repeat and become a 3-time AEW champion? He already made history. Well, both him and CM Punk being 2-time AEW champions, but could Jon Moxley secure the win and become the first ever 3-time AEW champion? We'll talk about it coming up. Speaking of that as well, the World Tag Team titles on the line. The Swerve and Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, defend the Tag Team Championship against the ever popular Acclaim. Can the Acclaim come back home to New York City and win championship gold? Could they do it? We have to find out and see. But we get the Pro Wrestling Show started right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Here on this recap version of AEW Dynamite Grand Slam Special Edition. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We got a lot to get to, but let's get started. But first thing first, join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect TV. And don't forget, do not forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right, we're going to get started. Well, a lot of AEW action as we get started with all these matches, including the AEW right here, these 2, the main event. We're going to see that later on in the show. Could Jon Moxley become a 3-time AEW champion? We'll get to it in a minute. All right, we get started with some big news right here. Saraya, better known as Paige in WWE, has finally made her AEW Dynamite debut. Paige has come out of nowhere after she had talks with AEW, and now Paige is a part of the AEW roster. How she would fit, she interrupted the match of the interim women's championship match between Dr. Britt Baker, Toni Storm. Toni Storm won the match, but Paige was the top of the conversation. Paige is now all elite. What that's going to bring, and hopefully, we hope that Paige does not try to injure herself, but you never know. We hope the best. But Paige, we hope she knows what she's doing. Paige is now a full-fledged member of AEW. Paige has not wrestled ever since, I'd say, about at least 6-7 years. And Paige is back into her company, and she keeps. Hopefully, Paige knows that what's going to happen, and hopefully, Paige kind of got ace in her sleeve what she's going to do. But we'll get to Paige a little bit later on the show. Speaking of this is the match right here everyone has been talking about. I've been looking forward to seeing this match. Chris Jericho, a former WWE champion, former WCW champion, the first undisputed champion. Jericho has done it all in WWE, and including becoming the first AEW World Champion. Like I said, Jericho has done it all, winning belts, winning world championships. He was a 7-time world champion. He was that brain until he went against Claudio, and him and Claudio had an instant classic match. Jericho won the Ring of Honor Championship, making him the new Ring of Honor champion in his illustrious career. Chris Jericho now has done it, becoming the Ring of Honor champion, and he's done it in grand fashion. Jericho, a KG veteran and knows a technical sound veteran, if you ask me, knew about the blocks of stuff and knew how to do what he had to do in order to win the Ring of Honor Championship. I don't know if that's going to bring some leverage to them that they Ring of Honor. I've been hearing all these rumors and reports about Ring of Honor struggling. Tony Khan struggling with Ring of Honor to find a TV deal, but he can find one for AEW. Maybe the Turner Zets are more concerned about AEW than they are about Ring of Honor. So Chris Jericho, maybe they might have to do this. They probably had to add Ring of Honor as like a second show or something. But they keep on including it into the AEW show. So I don't know. AEW needs his own. AEW has his own show and has his own 2 brands. But Ring of Honor is still that lacking brand that doesn't have no TV. And you got to wonder, you got to ask yourself, does Chris Jericho help propel Ring of Honor to get a TV deal as being his champion? He did for AEW. But Chris Jericho do the same for Ring of Honor? Ring of Honor has been a struggling brand for quite some time. And now Tony Khan has brought the assets to Ring of Honor. Sometimes you got to wonder, like, what can Ring of Honor get somewhere? But we'll see. With Jericho as his champion, it's going to take some time. Well, we know one thing that you don't have to worry. One thing about this, the tag team situation. Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it and talk about it. If we can find the footage for it. But we want to make sure Cesaro was a great champion, and it was an odyssey for Cesaro before we get to the tag team situation. Cesaro, ain't no shame to Cesaro. He did what he can do. Cesaro won the Ring of Honor Championship. Now he is considered one of the elites to become a world champion. But you have to wonder about Cesaro. Could he come back to WWE under a new regime when everything is smoke is good and clear? Well, we just have to find out and see on that. But Cesaro, no shame in his game of winning the Ring of Honor Championship. Should be proud of him being a world champion. So congratulations to Cesaro. Maybe he can go for the AEW title if that prohibits. Then Jericho, who's going to be under Jericho's wing coming up? We'll talk about that. So we'll see that. Also, too, if we can find the footage. It's kind of hard to find footage and stuff. Let's find it. We can find it. We know we have the footage somewhere. This was a shocker. Swerve Strickland being a little bit cocky earlier tonight. Swerve Strickland being cocky more than ever about himself. So Swerve going out there and telling Anthony Bowens and Max Caster that they couldn't do it. We know that Anthony Bowens and Max Caster are the Acclaim, and they have been champs for quite some time. And this was the moment for them to relive their moment in history, get themselves, their shine into what they needed to do. But it was a lot going on tonight as you can see and stuff. Hopefully, with that, let's look for it. The Acclaim, the great. Some consider them one of the greatest teams. The Acclaim did what they had to do to get over, and what way did they get over, and how they got over and stuff. The Acclaim, being AEW's popular tag team for quite some time now, we're getting over with the crowd, and the crowd getting over with them. The Acclaim, making new heights and stuff. What they got to do in order to dominate the tag team situation, and they went against Swerve and Our Glory earlier tonight in their rematch for the tag team titles. What a rematch it was for the Acclaim. The Acclaim want those gold, tag team gold, to verify themselves as being one of the best. Ain't nothing wrong being the best and being the best. The Acclaim had to do that in order to solidify themselves as tag team champions. And what a moment. What a moment for the Acclaim to do it. What a moment. And it was for the Acclaim. The Acclaim done it and won the tag team championships. The Acclaim are now the AEW Tag Team Champion. I don't know. I'm not trying to be discriminating or stuff like that. I know Anthony Bowens is openly gay. Max Caster, I don't know if he's openly gay or not. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, if they are, then they'll be the first openly gay tag team champion. And it'll be congratulations to them if they are. But I guess you know how that go. But they are like I said, it's them being champions. We just have to wait and see and stuff. So the Acclaim are now the new World Tag Team Champions. We'll see how this goes. Well, we'll see how it goes somewhere down the road. But congratulations to the Acclaim on winning the Tag Team Championships. Also, too, what else happened? A lot else happened. We know Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, former tag team partners. They wasn't part of AEW's Dynamite night, but they will be a part of Friday Night Rampage for the 2-hour special. Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks can break themselves limb to limb over together and see how that's gonna be. Well, they used to be the best of friends. Now they're the worst of enemies. So we'll see this rivalry maybe come to an end, a lights out match. Who's gonna be a lights out? We'll find out and see. What else happened? Also, too, you talking about the women's action. Well, we know this. Jon Moxley took on Daniel Bryan, and an instant classic. Both men gave each other blood, sweat, and tears. But Daniel Bryan, I thought he was going to be close to being world champion. It didn't happen for him. Maybe down the road, MJF was watching nearby. MJF with his own problems and stuff, causing and stuff. But at the end, Moxley wins and becomes the first 3-time world champion. And Moxley done it. So Moxley wins the world championship. Congratulations to Jon Moxley. As well as Pac retaining his All-Atlantic championship from Orange Cassidy. That was a great match. But Orange Cassidy, just a gimmick, but it didn't pay out for Orange Cassidy at the end. Plus, too, the baddest bitch, Trina, made an appearance. She went confront the bitch, the TBS champion, Jay, that she called herself that bitch show. Jay came out there. Oh, you want to see Jay and Trina fight? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jay and Trina fight. We'll see. I want to see that match so bad. But the story is Jon Moxley winning the AEW Championship for the third time, making history. The first three-time AEW champion. Congratulations in order to Jon Moxley. Also to Chris Jericho wins the AEW World Championships. Now, speaking of World Championships, Jericho makes his mark of winning the World Championship. Winning the World Championship and winning for the 8th time, but winning his first Ring of Honor World title, as well as Paige, Saraya, I want to call her name, is now all elite. So we get to see her down the road. So there's a lot going on, and hopefully this will lead to MJF getting a championship match against Moxley down the road. Also, speaking of that, Jamie Hayter, we're moving on forward to hot topic. Jamie Hayter says, "Son, who can you trust in pro wrestling? If she can't trust you, it ends up being that way. However, that went up." Also, too, Action Bronson is supposed to make his appearance on AEW. I want to see Action Bronson in the ring. You know, I be hearing stuff about him rapping, so he's going to be rapping this week. Now we're going to have to really put his foot in his own mouth against the team of 2.0. So we'll see that match with him and Hook. Speaking of when we said him in the Hook, we'll see Hook wrestle. Okay, we'll see that. But this was tonight. Jon Moxley win the World Championship, and we'll see that coming up. A lot going on. All right. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. Hopefully, we'll see you this Friday for the SmackDown Ring Report. As always, thank you for watching the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long, and thank you for watching. We'll see you for SmackDown Ring Report this week. See you later.